we have to check the equipment prior using them. You have to see the guy, the employee who is handling that equipment is properly trained. He knows about the equipment, how to handle, how to store, and how to take care of that equipment while he is in touch of that. Then, if you are using a cutting tools like that, then you have to protect yourself and the adjacent area where you are working with. So it's advice. The advice is that you have to hold the job or the device within the range so that it will not uh, injure the guy who is holding that device. So it is recommended that you have to hold that device or that job into that machine range or the bench range. There are some replaceable part within the tool. So if they want, if they are damaged, if they are defective, you have to identify and you have to replace those part initially only. Maintenance is required. You have to maintain those equipment regularly. Some basic instructions been given by the maker or the manufacturer. You have to follow those instructions when maintaining that particular equipment. Even that manufacturer may supply uh, basic compatible replaceable parts too. So if you want to replace the worn part, you have to replace with the correct manufacturer items or with the compatible parts only. You have to replace those replaceable items. You may find we can say dummy items too, which are which will look same as of the original, but they may not have the same characteristics or the strengthening within that equipment or within that replaceable part. So how you have to identify which one is the original and which one is the right compatible item, so that your equipment will work much effectively as it was earlier, just like a new only. When you're carrying, when you're transferring a tool from one place to another place or towards the workstation, you have to carry a tool in a toolbox or within a bucket so that there will be no injury because of that particular tool. We seen PP is a must. Everywhere we are donning PP, but if you're equipped for the any specific job, then as per that specific job requirement, you have to wear few additional PP such as safety goggles or face shield when you are equipped when you are working where there might be a dust or flames around. So yes, it is recommended to use a safety goggles or face shield. So as per the job, as per the requirement, this additional PP keep adding into your PP list. You have to see where you're working. Your environment must be clean, tidy, and organized too, so that you will feel comfortable and the things will be uh, available next to you and it may ease your job. It is recommended to have a belt around your vest where you can add require items for that particular job. Even you may find some sort or some part of the aprons too, who may have the pockets, several pockets in front side of your apron, where you can hang hand tools. This belt and the apron and these sort of things must be used when you are working over the deck. If you are working at certain height, then yes, you have to carry all of the equipment with the help of bucket or container. We have to use correct tool for the particular job. I gave you example. We should not use a screwdriver as a chisel. It may break your screwdriver head. So yes, you have to pick up right tool for right job. The force that you are um, exerting onto the any particular tool, you have to see what pressure you are forcing and what is the capacity of that hand tool is. You should not give excessive pressure. You may face, because of the excessive pressure, that tool may break, or even you may disbalance, and there might be a minor injury or permanent disorders too. So yes, the force or the power when we are applying, we have to check, is that effective? Is the tool is that sufficient to hold or to grab such amount of power or not? So yes, you have to identify. Like you might have seen um a huge truck standing next to the road, and a very thin or poor guy is trying to dismantle that huge truck tire. And in olden days, we were not having that pneumatic type of machine. At that instance, the spanner is such big, even the spanners are big only. Those are so big that the size of that spanner is matching the size of that poor guy. And he is jumping on that spanner. Still, he may hardly turn that bolt. So yes, we have to see how strong your tool is and what the force you are applying on it. Yes, if you're using a cutting device, then you must keep yourself away. Do not cut in the direction of where yourself is standing, or if there is any teammate around, you have to ask them, be clear from this workplace, as there might be a spark, or you may find cutting tool going um, over because of the repelling force. So yes, you have to ask them to leave that place and be somewhere else when you are using cutting sort of the device. I inform you about, you have to use benchmarks, bench and all. Yeah. Yes. Previously we done a combined session. We left with the last two slides. तो अभी मैंने सारा रिवाइज कर लिया आपको. I hope all of you understood what are the things that we have to consider once we are using hand tool.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So चलो देखते हैं कितना कुछ आपको याद है. मैंने पूरा पहले से रिवाइज किया हुआ है. Guys, you're new on board, and a person instructed you to be in the one of the team where you may be using a hand tool. So what are the thoughts, or what are the precautions that you have to follow once you are on that job? I want to hear answer from you. You can give me a one by one instructions that you will follow before starting the operation or before starting the job, considering safety.
So wearing PPE kits, using the right tool for
Yes, Yudhajit is much about the PP. Always he says about the PP itself.
so I also said that we have to use the right tool for the job.
Okay, right tools, fine. Yes, और कुछ? We have to see right tools. Even we have to inspect them prior starting your job. Yes, Tushar.
Sir, when you are working on deck level, you have to use heavy belt to attach tools.
Okay, fine. You can use belts or apron to hang those equipment. Raju Kumar 50, are you there? Hmm. So what do you think? Okay, good. We must know how to operate that equipment. That is much obvious.
So inspect tools for defect before using it.
Yes, inspection is much required at the initial stage only. You have to find what are the defects. If you find there are some defect or the tool requires a repair, then you have to replace the required item with the compatible items. Yes. Or Ranbir, are you there? 051. Ranbir 051, are you there? ठीक है. Guys, we're done with hand tools. Now I will start the precaution which may be requiring when you're operating hatch covers. So have you heard this word before, hatch covers, in ship construction or
Yes,
in
sir.
other topics? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So hatch covers basically use on bulk carriers and in the containers too. So they are like a lids, and those are covering few compartments or a singular compartment only. It has straining material. It protects that compartment from heavy weather, from ingress of water, and from uh, other interference too. So guys, if you want to open or close or operate those hatch covers, then you must know what is a basic safety instructions when you're operating those hatch covers. So within my background also, you can see that is one bulk carrier and it has several hatch covers. So hatch covers are defined, or hatch covers have different patterns too. Some are like folding type, some are like sliding type, some of them are lifting type, where we are lifting that uh, one of the pontoon with the help of crane, and we are keeping that pontoon or that lead over the other surface. So yes, as per the different makers and as per the different modules, we have different operating procedures. But basically, there are few things that you have to understand. Type may be different, but the basic concept will be the same. The basic procedure that you have to follow will be the one and same. So let the type may be different, but first of all, you have to understand what are the things that you must do and what should be avoided. So let's start. I done this part with the division one. Uh, I miss your class at one occasion. That's why this part is pending for your division. So let's start and finish with that. Now you can say PP is the most common thing that can be said for each and every job. If you're operating a hatch cover, then also you must be done with the proper PPE. Here, someone may not ask you for the specific additional PP such as goggles or a life jacket, but you have to don with the required PP such as apron, helmet, gloves, and the safety shoes. Now, the hatch cover unit or the hatch cover itself has some sort of the markings around. So if that marking comes in front of you, or if you reach towards that definite mark, then you have to understand this is some sort of the indication. It might be saying you, okay, here you have to hold, or here you have to stop, or at some instance, the marking may uh, gives you a warning saying that you're lying in a danger zone or danger area. So there are different markings around. So first of all, once you join a vessel, it's your duty to understand how this operation work, what are the different levers, what are the adjacent machineries to be used when you're operating any of the hatch covers within the vessel. So to use hatch covers, to operate the hatch covers, there are few procedures that you have to understand. What are they? I will instruct you. But yes, before joining a vessel, once you join a vessel, you have to make familiar with this part. ऐसे नहीं कि उधर जॉब के लिए जाके खड़े हो गए, you're standing next to that hatch cover and then you are asking someone, how can I operate this? No, during familiarization only, before going to job only, you must be well trained, well instructed, well known how to operate or how to do that job. Yes. So there are marking. You have to identify which mark is this and why it is there, and what it is indicating. Is it saying this is the right posture, or is it showing you or warning you, no, you are going into the wrong direction? So yes, there are marks you have to identify and you have to work accordingly. So the instruction says, or the general guideline says, unless your hatch covers, your leads are completely open, then and only you have to start the job. Means what? You may go across the different ports, and some ports may bother you, may press you to start the operation soon. They may say, okay, fine, your hatches or the hatch covers are partially open, fine. I just want to start the job. No, the practices, this kind of practices is not allowed, not permitted. You have to decline this offer. You have to tell them, give me some time. I require this definite time to open all of these hash covers, and later on you can start your operation. And that operation means what? He may be about to start a cargo operation from that particular compartment. So if someone intend to do this type of practices, you have to stop them at the right instance. We have several incidents when the hatch cover was partially open and someone started operating within that particular compartment. We had plenty of accident into the industry. So yes, you have to understand the seriousness and you should not allow these kind of practices. We are securing these hash covers. For securing, we have uh, some locking devices such as clips or the wedges. So once the operation has been done, we are closing that particular hatch cover, and then we are securing them with the help of clips and with the help of the wedges. So how the clips look like, it's similar to the clip we can say that we are inserting with the hatch cover edge. So there are multiple clips and we are putting that clip, or you can say a clip, sort of the adjustment over the length and over the breadth, so that these clips will not allow your hatch covers to move or shift because of the bad weather or because of the motion of the ship. So yes, these are the securing device which will allow your hatch covers will be intact in position, and they are watertight too. Each hatch covers has a specific maintenance requirement, and those will be included in your company procedure manuals, and even a makers gives you required instructions which are the things you must check at what interval. So there are plenty of equipments, there are plenty of part within the hatch covers. So they are divided with the different intervals, such as daily inspections are there, weekly inspection, monthly, quarterly, yearly, 5 yearly. So as per that, there are the things that you have to look after continuously. And if you find any defect, you have to replace with the compatible item. So as I said, uh, before handling the operation, you must be properly instructed how to use that operation. So let's see how to operate the hatch covers. As I said, there are the levers, or we can say there is a lever box around the hatch cover. To operate that lever, there must be a power around, and the power is being provided with the help of the pump, and that pump may be electrical or hydraulic. So you have to see where those pumps are, how to stop, how to start, and what is the emergency stop procedure if you want to stop that pump or that operation, that you have to check initially. So ये आपका duty है, this is your job to identify where the operating levers are and where the adjacent machinery is. Once it is done, you have to see how to operate that particular hatch covers. You may find the operating instruction next to that operating panel itself. Let it be, it will be there. But don't rely on that operating instruction. You must be well confident and very much clear how to operate those levers. Okay, then later on, you have to see whether have you removed those additional security devices or additional securing devices which been attached to the hatch covers or not. So yes, you have to go around. As I said, there are clips, those are laid uh, throughout the length and throughout the breadth of that hatch cover. You have to take those out. So the opening operation may not be obscured because of those cleats or because of those securing devices. What else you have to see? You have to check is the space or the environment where you are working is safe or not. Safe means you have to check the guys or the studios from the show, are they roaming around within that particular area? If they, then you have to instruct, keep away from this space unless and until we open or operate this particular hatch cover. Later on, they may resume their job once you're done with your operation. So you have to check with the other parties, other teammates, are they working within that same circumference? If they, then you have to avoid them unless you complete your job. So the hatch cover is not a small compartment or small thing that you're operating. It is a huge thing, and your surveillance has somewhat restriction. So the operation must be supervised by the responsible officer too, or responsible person. It might be your senior, it may be a person, or even a senior AP2. It's not required to master to supervise this operation. No, anyone can supervise this operation provided he know about the different consequences and he know how to operate this operation too. Now, supervision will help to inform you if anything goes wrong, or he can assist you in the case of emergency. He has to check whether the operation is going smoothly on the other end or not. He has to stand on the other end. Suppose you're operating from the starboard side, then that supervisor must stand on the port side to see the other guys are well clear. They are not coming in between the operation, and at that side or that end, everything is going smoothly and properly as it goes on the starboard side where you are standing. So yes, supervision is much essential. The illumination or the lighting that you have to post and that you have to see whether are they there or not. When closing a hatch cover, you may find you have inserted a few lights within that compartment. So before closing the hatch cover, you have to pick those light away. So your hatch cover may not come in between with those lights, and that light and your cover may not get damaged. Guardrails. Many of the hatch covers may have guardrails. Guardrails means a railing type. Those are the portable railings, and we may use them to climb onto the surface of the hatch cover itself. So if they are placed, you have to check whether you have removed them or not. Are they obstructing your passage or not? So these are the things that you have to observe before operating hatch covers. Lifting appliances. As I said, we had different type of hatch covers. So there are one hatch covers like they may not be operated with the help of machinery, but you have to use lifting appliances to lift and to move those lids away. And how it been done? You have to use crane or the other gears by which you will be attaching that lid with the help of the other alignment, and then you're taking that lid away and placing it over the definite place as it is marked. So here you have to check what are the related equipments that you are using for lifting that particular lid. Are they well efficient? Do they have the carrying capacity or not? When they have been checked, how they have been attached, is the attachment is proper or not? Whether you attach that lifting device at a correct posture. Correct posture means there might be a center position from where you have to lift a particular lid, but some may have inserted the lifting device on the other corner. So we have to check, do we have the right posture, right equipment, and right alignment or not. So these are some basic precautions that you have to follow when you are onto the operation of hatch covers. So the hatch covers, the lid or the pontoon has their own carrying capacity. Means you can't put any weight as you require. So if you want to put anything above the hatch cover, you have to check what is the strength of that hatch cover. Each hatch cover, each pontoon, each lead has its own strength, and you should not exceed that strength. It may deteriorate or it may damage that pontoon. So before placing any weight over the hatch cover, you have to check what is a safe working uh, carrying capacity of that particular pontoon. So as you can see within my background, there is one helipad which has been kept over the hatch cover. So yes, uh, that hatch cover has that carrying capacity. That's why we allow that helipad to be landed on that pontoon, and it stood safely without damaging our hatch covers. Always you have to follow manufacturing instructions. It may guide you how to operate, how to repair, and what are the other means or the precaution that you have to follow, but the basic instructions are same as I told you. So you have to follow these basic rules or basic guidelines when you're using or operating hatch covers. As the maker change, as a time change, there might be few additional things, but yes, few initial thing will be same as it is. Uh, as I said, when you're operating hatch cover, you have to make sure that area is clear from other operations, such as I said, there might be teams maybe working in that circumference only. They might be doing some sort of the other maintenance, or they may be doing other sort of the job, like they might be using a ladder and maintaining some other part. No, you have to see where you're operating, that area is obstruction free, and the other crew plus the stewards from the show, they are well instructed. You have to hold for a while unless we complete our operation. There are some definite dreams at which you should not operate the hatch cover. So it differ maker to maker, but generally a dream which is more than 3 meters will not allow to open, close, or operate the hatch covers. So you have to see with the maker's instructions, manufacturing instructions, what he detect, what he tells you. Okay. During rolling, there will be disturbance and your hatch covers may get deformed because of the unwanted contact and unwanted rolling. Even the wheel which is rotating around the track may get shifted away from track, and your hatch cover may shift away. So yes, when when the ship is rolling, you should avoid operating hatch covers. Locking and securing devices. Yes, I told you about the cleats. The cleats also have different shapes and different looks, altogether different as the manufacturer change, but the purpose will be same. They just want to secure hatch covers when you are about to start your voyage. Maintenance, yes, maintenance we have to do regularly as per the instructions. Like we have to do a greasing regularly, we have to check where is wear and tear, and if the item has to be replaced, then it should be replaced with the compatible one. Cleaning is most essential. We have to check each and every item, and
As
complete
we
catalog will be given
saw
there.
in the previous class,
So regular inspection, as I said,
and
monthly, three
in
monthly,
this,
annually.
one thing that is not
So
shown
yes,
here is
there will be a
the
complete
radius
table,
of the propeller.
instructions, and
Did
you
we
have
talk
to
about the
follow that.
radius of the
You have to
propeller?
see is the
No, sir.
equipment or that
Okay.
particular part is
The
performing
radius of the
as per the
propeller, just
standards
know
or
that
not.
the radius is measured from the center line of the boss. So this distance happens to be the radius r. Okay. Now,
So this part we
also
see
there are
about the
some more
marking.
things. This
Even
propeller,
I told you about the attachment
many a
when you're
times,
lifting a lead or the
the
pontoon with the
propeller
help of the
shaft
crane.